With there being a small handful of actors for Doctor Who in the MCU, Karen Gillan, Jenna Louise Coleman, Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant, we could be seeing another Doctor join their ranks. That's right, Matt Smith may be joining the MCU. When asked at New York Comic Con this week, will you make the leap to Marvel like some of your co-stars? His response was, my answer is, when will they ask me? But this is not his first piece of superhero-related news. He has also expressed an interest in appearing in a solo Batman movie, mentioning that he would love to play the Riddler alongside Ben Affleck's Batman. He even joked that he would write a letter to Warner Brothers, making sure that he would land that role. But it now appears that his focus has moved over to Marvel Studios. But the question is, who could he play? Well, I have a few ideas. First up is Mr. Fantastic. When Matt made the announcement yesterday, this was many fans' first choice, but of course, the only issue is here. Marvel Studios do not own the rights to the Fantastic Four. But if they were to, say, do a deal with Fox, I believe that he could certainly pull off the role. And with Matt's age currently at 33, and in the comics Reed Richards is in his early 40s, I think that Matt would be ideal with his clever and witty acting skills. And let's face it, seeing Matt Smith's Reed Richards and Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange in a scene together would certainly be memorable. Next up is actually a character who I would say is probably my favourite Marvel villain, so for Matt to play him would certainly be pretty amazing. The character in question is Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. I believe Matt has the quirkiness needed for the character. I would certainly love to see him go against Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and as seeing his role as the 11th Doctor in Doctor Who, his characters can come across as very humorous but also very dark and eerie. Therefore, I think this would certainly be needed for a movie version of the character. Now, as some of you may have read in the past, Charlie Cox has stated that he would love to see his version of Daredevil go up against Bullseye in Season 3 of Netflix's Daredevil. I feel that if Matt Smith were to join the MCU, I feel that maybe a Netflix character would certainly be the way to go. Therefore, I believe that Matt Smith could play Bullseye. My reasoning behind this is that, well, as I stated about Mysterio, Bullseye has a very seriousness about him, but also has comedic moments. So I believe that Matt Smith could certainly inject these into the role. With David Tennant absolutely nailing the role of Kilgrave in Netflix's Jessica Jones, I feel that to get another Doctor Who actor into a Marvel Netflix show would be a pretty smart move. I'm going to be honest with you, this next character I don't know too much about, but after doing a little bit of research, I can tell you that I believe Matt Smith certainly would be able to fill the boots of the Marvel character that is Nova. I feel that it's important for Nova to be introduced at some point soon because we really do need to see the cosmic side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With it having such a powerful ability in the comics, it hasn't really been explored in the movies. Of course, we've had little hints here and there in the Thor films and with Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and of course Doctor Strange at the end of this month. But I feel that other than that, that's about it. They haven't really dealt with it. I feel that in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they seem to be the only ones who have really dealt with it directly. If Infinity War is going to take on the galactic significance that it needs to, then we really need to see more of this. This is why Nova should be introduced. He's part of the Nova Corps, which we have already met in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I feel that Kevin Feige and James Gunn have already hinted that somewhere in this universe Nova does exist, because in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie we come across the Nova Corps, which in the comics Nova is a part of. But he's also a human, so he does have that ability to act as a bridge between these two currently separate sides of the MCU. I believe that it would be a fantastic choice for Matt to play him. Next up on the list we have Alistair Smythe. He's only had one cinematic appearance so far, but that didn't exactly go to plan. I feel that Matt Smith has that young, energetic and youthful look that would be needed for a character like Alistair Smythe. Looking at the picture on screen, you can see that Matt Smith has that eeriness about him, which I think would make him ideal for the character. I feel like for an actor like Matt Smith, he would need maybe a major role as opposed to a small role. And if he were to play Alistair Smythe, he could certainly be a reoccurring villain for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Finally on the list, we have a well-known Spider-Man villain, Hammerhead. What I believe Marvel Studios have done right about Spider-Man Homecoming so far is that we're going to get two villains that we've never seen before. That's the Shocker and the Vulture. I believe that for the sequel for Spider-Man Homecoming, Marvel Studios could certainly pull off having yet another villain which we have yet to see. Therefore, I believe that Hammerhead would be a fantastic choice. Even if he were to be in the opening scene with Spider-Man, it would still be great to see him on the big screen, going up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. If Marvel Studios were to cast Matt and they didn't want him to have a major role, then I believe that Hammerhead would be a good way to go. Because for Alistair Smythe, he would have to be an important character, but for Hammerhead, they could just have him in an opening scene for, say, the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. And it would be very, very cool to see Hammerhead on the big screen, but not only that, but to be played by Matt Smith. That would be amazing. So, do you think we should see Matt Smith in the MCU going forward? Please comment your thoughts below. Thanks.